extremely difficult to connect deeply with others if we are lost in our own thoughts and feelings. How can we accept where we're at with our own thoughts and feelings, but move into a place where it's easier to connect with others? Hey everyone, I'm Sonja and this is Holiness Connection. And this video is part of my series, Deep Calling Deep, How We Can Be with Each Other. So in exploring deep connection with others, I've talked before about how I see it as a triad of self, other, and the connection itself, which some might call spirit. And I've also talked about how it's important to connect to ourselves as part of that process. But what about when we are in a state, maybe for days or weeks, maybe just temporarily, where we're really lost and identified in our thoughts or feelings? So we don't want to deny those feelings. That's not helpful at all, right? We don't want to suppress them. But is there a way or a practice that we could use to get into both a state of deeper connection to ourselves, our deeper self, and then be in a place where we're more available for deep connection with others? So there is a really helpful, simple yet powerful psychology method called acceptance and commitment therapy, which was developed by Stephen Hayes. And I'm going to use that as inspiration for a practice you could use to get into this space of better being able to connect deeply with yourself and others. So like I said, it's pretty simple. In this particular example, is probably the simplest form of acceptance and commitment therapy. So what you're going to do is start with where you're at. Again, we're not going to be resisting it. We're not going to be doing anything to try to push away or suppress where you're at. So it could be that you're really in your head, having, a bunch of thoughts racing or one particular thought that you're ruminating on. It could be that you're experiencing an emotion very strongly or sensation in your body. And again, we do not want to suppress that. This is not about suppressing that. This will be about holding where you're at the same time as being able to, at the same time, hold the deeper connection with yourself. So go ahead and really feel into that thought. The first step is to actually feel very strongly into that thought or sensation. If it's a thought, you can repeat it in your mind. Like, I am having racing thoughts, for example. If it's something in your body, you could say, I'm having tension all over my body, something like that. So first start with that, and then repeat it to yourself. Feel really into it, what it feels like. So even if it's a thought, feel what it feels like in your body. If it's emotion, feel like what it feels like in your body. If it's already a body sensation, you're already there in your body, but really feel into it and repeat 3 times that statement about it. Then, next, you're going to feel back into it again, but this time you're going to change that statement a little bit. And you're going to add a layer to it. So if it's a thought, you might, instead of saying, my thoughts are racing, you would say, I'm having the thought that my thoughts are racing. And this is the most typical way to do it with a thought for acceptance and commitment therapy. In the way I'm doing it here, you could also use it as a feeling. So you could, or a body sensation. So you could say, for I feel tension all over my body, you could say, I feel that I'm feeling tension all over my body. Just adding that one more layer, okay? So go into that, really go back into feeling. You can shut your eyes if you need to, and repeat this step with one more layer 3 times as well. So it could be, I'm having the thought that my thoughts are racing. It could be, I'm feeling the feeling of tension all over my body. It could be, I'm feeling the feeling of sadness in my body. And then see if that shifts anything. Often there's a sense of a little bit of separation from the original feeling without pushing it away. But there's a sense of like expanding a little bit and sensing something a little more there too. That's starting to be this deeper self that's noticing. And then finally, you're going to do another step of layering. And so often the word I'm noticing is helpful here, though you can layer it in whatever way you want. The point is just to add one more layer. So you're going to go into it again, and this time repeat 3 times. Something like, I am noticing that I'm having the thought that my thoughts are racing, or I'm noticing that I'm feeling that I'm having the feelings of sadness, or I'm noticing the feeling that my body is feeling tense. Okay, so you kind of get that different layering there, but really go ahead and do the practice. Don't just think that and come up with the phrase. Make sure you really, and that's why it might be helpful to close your eyes, make sure you really go in and feel what you're saying as you're saying it, and hopefully that third time creates a sense of even more expansion. And so what we're really doing here is witnessing presence, right? This is actually a way into witnessing presence, starting from right where you're at, which is what's so beautiful about it, because you are not pushing anything away, you're not suppressing, you're not spiritually bypassing, you are just holding where you're at the same time as you're able to access the witnessing presence. And as I said in the beginning of the video, this makes you more available to connect deeply with others, but you're also connecting more deeply with yourself. So let me know how that goes, if that practice works for you, if you have any tweaks you want to add to it. It's great to experiment, a little with the phrasing especially, but hopefully that was helpful.